7th or 8th, I think 8th episode of the White Sox Out of the Park series I'm doing here. It's the off-season episode. Hopefully we have a big off-season, coming off a disappointing playoff loss to the eventual World Series winners, Minnesota Twins. For the first time our season, our owner said, "Great job!" Thanks. I thought it was myself. You can see our owner goals here, and Jerry Reinsdorf has decided to take money away from us. Nothing like taking budget space away after a team goes to the World Series, huh? Yeah, that's a fun thing. We'll look at his our goals. You know, he secretly hoped we made the playoffs, but we did. No big deal. He wanted me to acquire a power hitter. I guess Juan Soto is not that. I don't understand that, but sure. He's happy with our attendance increase. He's happy in keeping fan interest high. And he wants, I'm not really sure what long-term was, but he's very happy I completed the challenge. He wants to have a long relationship, a fruitful relationship. Well, you are 89, so I can't imagine that goes on for very much longer. You can see a lot of other goals he has for us here. You know, I want to do that. I want a winning record. I want a better catcher. I'd like more power. I'd like more butts in the seats. I'd like more prospects. I'd like a better prospect system. I'd like to improve my international amateur fines. So all these things line up with me and what I want to do with this team. Anyways, you can see Buck Showalter retired. That's fine. We'll take care of that. We'll hire a new assistant GM. Besides that, I will update you on any offseason moves we make. I'm hoping it's a better team we put forward next year. So yeah. We're going through ARB estimates, and the first move I'm going to make is flipping Brandon Marsh, who's scheduled to make about $6 million next year, which I'm not prepared to pay him. 1-for-1 for Kyle Hurt. You know, he looks like a fairly good pitcher. This is more just pitching depth. I think he might profile not fantastically, but 4+ pitches as a starter. Hopefully he'll have 65 stuff. And there's a real chance he competes for the back end of our rotation next year. Very simple trade. I'm not really going to fleece the system too much here. We'll get into shortly how I could, but a little bit of a game flaw in my opinion on waivers, which I'll get to. But for now, yeah, just this quick 1-for-1 swap. I've dealt with arbitration. We're going to extend pretty much everyone by 1 year, except for Edward Cabrera we're going to let go, and Tomas Nido I'm going to let go. Everyone else is getting a 1-year extension. I'm not going to bring back IKF. I'm not going to bring back Lopez, McGuire, or Schwarber. And all these older minor league free agents can feck off. The thing I want to discuss is waivers. So you'll notice on waivers, I looked through everyone. They were making a claim for Nick Frasso, who looks pretty good. Jays prospect, former, traded for fucking Mitch White. Unreal. Anyways, the thing to discuss here is on waivers, you'll notice there are a couple younger players, 3 of whom are on the top 100 prospects list. If I don't, someone will claim them. If I do, we're going to supplant our prospect pool pretty unbelievably on waivers. We might be able to flip these guys later. We might be able to use them on our own team. Do I want to claim, you know, pretty much a new farm system on waivers? Well, yes. The answer is yes. I do want to. Will I? Well, also yes. Should I? Also yes. But really, should I? No. Tyron Liranzo. He's the 35th ranked prospect. I don't know how, to be so real. It doesn't look that great, but we're going to put a claim in on him. Who else is here? Carter Jensen, the 90th ranked prospect, another catcher. He profiles more of the first baseman to me. Doesn't actually look all that good at all, but again, you know, if this is a trade chip we got on waivers, yeah, please. We're going to claim him, and the real bad one to me is is Brock Wilken, who is the number 19 prospect in this game. Again, he shouldn't be. This is not a great player. It's not bad, obviously. You know, he's going to hit the ball hard, going to hit for power, going to get on base, but he's going to strike out a ton. This is not a great player, but, you know, the number 19 prospect in baseball being on waivers is silly, but hopefully he'll be silly in my system. Besides that, there are a couple other interesting names. Jonathan Clase, who's just a crazy base runner. He has 2 more option years. I'm going to claim him. We're going to keep him in the minors and bring him up potentially as a postseason roster spot as a pinch runner. And then besides that, no one else really stands out to me. So yeah, that's a little bit of a game flaw in my opinion. I don't think teams should be waiving their top prospects, right? But if they do, This is a fuck'em empire. We say fuck'em and we do things like that, right? So, yeah, thanks. I was not an idiot this year, and I'm doing development lab on the first day of the off season, so we're going to be able to fit in 10 3 to 4 months and 10 4 to 5 weeks potential training improvements. And how we're going to line that up is we're going to do Colson Montgomery quality of contact, which is BABIP. He has some room to fill out there. Hopefully we can get development like we did for his power, because that was pretty unreal. And, it'd be lovely if he could fill out a little higher. Bryce Terang, we're going to do quality of contact. He doesn't really have room to grow, so the chance of him raising this is unlikely, but he's only 25. And it's possible. And if he could hit more line drives, that would be fantastic. Nick Nastrini, we're going to go for secondary pitch improvement, which will pick one of these non-fastballs and try to improve its grade, which in turn will give more stuff. I was considering doing his control, but I ended up not. We're going to go for Christian Pache's avoid Ks. We're going to do Juan Soto, simply defense in left field, because he was not good there. Not that he was terrible, but we're going to have him on this team for the long haul. So I'd like to have him play better defense. We're going to do the same secondary pitch improvement thing with George Kirby. Hopefully that picks one of these three. Well, it will. And hopefully it improves it, pretty decisively, so give him stuff. He's already really good in suppressing home runs and walks, so any more strikeout stuff would be fantastic. This is an ace for us, so, again, we have him on a pretty team-friendly contract until 2030, so that's very lovely. Crotch Rocket, we're going back to control. His potential control did drop, and so did his current, which is not good. His potential didn't drop, but his current control did, so we're going to try and get that back up. We're going to go Tyler Bremner, who was our first-round pick this past year, if you remember, who's the number 55 ranked prospect, who, again, I'm pretty happy with the way that this whole thing looks. If he could fill out to this pitcher exactly, he would have a pretty stable place in our rotation. But we are doing on him, as well, secondary pitch improvement, which we'll do slider or changeup. Just bump up that potential a little more would be lovely. We're doing... We're doing a DL Hall movement. You can notice I've listed him as a starter. I think we're going to try him out in the rotation to begin next year. At least that's my idea. If he can improve that home run suppression rate, that would be lovely. And we're going to try and increase Andrew Nardi's velocity on his fastball, just give him more stuff. He's already good enough control and good enough home run suppression. This is a good pitcher, right? We're going to want him to be even better. So that's the 10 things we're doing there. Besides that, I will let you know what happens with these waiver claims or any fun trades, and then we'll get into the awards. We are breaking the bank for our minor league coaching system. I'm basically gutting and redoing the entire minor league coaching system, save for literally one coach. I think the manager in high A. Maybe it's A. I don't know. One of the two. Completely new hitting coaching system in the minors. Completely new pitching coaching system in the minors. Even the majors is getting a couple facelifts. We're getting a new first base coach, new assistant GM, assuming they accept the offers. This will hopefully help us develop some minor league talent even better than we are. Not that we are yet, to be so real, but yeah, this is a big thing you would want to do in a franchise. And for the first off season, there are a bunch of good personnel free agents. I turn off hiring from other teams because it's just so fucking annoying. I know it's not realistic, but you'll just randomly be in the off season and you'll be like, oh, the Marlins hired your hitting coach. No, thank you. No. Anyways, you can see all these offers. We're gonna get a bunch of messages soon. It's a lot of money we're spending on developing these young kids, but that's the way we like them. That's the way we want them to be developed, and that's how you have a continual long-term success in a franchise. Just look at the Orioles. This is what they have in real life, in theory. That's a big thing. And besides that, I'm pretty sure we're done with day one off-season things. Good news from the South Side is all 5 waiver claims I put in came to fruition. They are all part of the organization now. You can see our new top prospect, Brock Wilken, was claimed on waivers. I don't know that he necessarily has a massive future with us. We might use him to flip this offseason because I take advantage of the game in places they let me. I don't really want to be that asshole to fleece the system all the time, but if you're putting a player on waivers, I'm claiming him. I'm not forcing trades. I'm not doing nothing like that, but there's a man on waivers, and I want him. I got him. That's how we play. I'm going to have to make room on the 40-man for most of these guys. I imagine Brock Wilken I can send it. No, he's on a major league contract. He's not played a game. I guess you were on waivers. That would mean, you're probably waived off the 40-man. Nick Frasso is one I'm actually pretty excited for. He should compete for a roster spot for next year. We'll put the 2 pitchers on the thing. I will figure this all out. Don't worry. I just felt like updating y'all. No really crazy trades yet. We've had a bunch of, you could see, minor league staff sign. That's not everyone. There's still a bunch of pending offers, notwithstanding or outstanding. I don't know the word. But yeah, we're going to march on. So in order to get all those new waiver claims, fresh meat on the active roster in the 40-man, we're going to DFA a bunch of guys we're not bringing back, and they're going to be free agents in, a week and a half anyways. So if someone wants to claim Schwarber, just to have him, they can have exclusive negotiating rights, I guess. Be my guest. It won't be me, though, doing that. It's that time of year for awards. We won our first few AL Gold Gloves. George Kirby won one as a starter, and Louis Bob won one in right field. He was fantastic out there. Other winners include Trevino at catcher, Nate Lowe at first, because Brandon Lau. Yeah, Nate Lowe. Noah Miller at second, Luis Urias at third. Shortstop is Javier Baez again, this time with a 33 OPS plus, and he still had positive WAR because he had 20 zone range at second. What a hilarious player and hilarious contract that is. Marcell fucking Ozuna won his second Gold Glove with those outfield ratings. He had -5 zone range, but he had 5 arm value. Okay, dude. And then Kiermaier won in center. NLC's Jefferson Caro, Christian Walker, Joey Ortiz, Ke'Bryan Hayes, Dansby, Jorge Soler in left with a -7 zone range, but +7 arm. What is happening in left? PCA, who's a fucking monster, and James Wood. I don't know why his name reminds me of James Earl Jones, but it does. Also, to this point, there's been 2 trades of note, in my opinion. There's been a couple other minor ones. Nate Pearson was traded to the Rays along with Adam Macko for JD Martinez, but none of them are even 3-star players, so not worth highlighting to me. You can see the Reds acquired Felix Bautista. Nope, I lied. The Reds acquired Alexis Diaz. Nope. Well, I'll try that for the 3rd time. The Reds moved Alexis Diaz to the Angels for Victor Medeiros, Bo Brewer, and Felix Morbel. And Matt Brash goes to interdivision trade the Rangers in exchange for Ezekiel Duran and Kennedy Jones. Sure. Anyways, let's keep moving on with the awards. Reliever of the year, as we see Late Night Lamont go to Toronto. Nice. Here's the career triples leaders. Nice. Yeah, Yohan Duran wins in a close race over Felix Bautista. That's fun to see Jordan Leisure picking up the 3rd place vote. Look at all these, or 3rd place finish. Last 2 years of pitching for us, Jordan Leisure's been really good. NL reliever of the year is Adbert Alzolay, with Rysel and Edwin Diaz picking up other 1st place votes. Silver Sluggers, here's what we're going to do with these guys who we're not going to resign. We're going to release them. Oh, you're sad to see Jerk McGee relieve? Yeah, I'm sure. As I clicked on waivers by accident rather than here. This is not going to add anything to the cap. It's not doing much besides, I'm just taking them off the 40-man earlier than I had to, I guess. Anyways, now we'll take a look at Silver Sluggers, as Ignacio Ornelas was uncovered by our scout. He's bad, though. Well, there's an interesting trade. Brian Rocchio for Jesus Sanchez. He hits the ball real hard. Silver Sluggers, you got Danny Bonds, you got Jordan, you got Jackson Holiday, Devers, Seager, Taylor Ward, Louis Bob in right again, so he's a Silver Slugger and a Gold Glove winner. And DH. Now here's where the fun happens. Who won the pitching Silver Slugger in the NL? It was Eric Fetty with a 30 WRC plus, but he had a home run. That's going to be fun to keep track of. Sean Murphy Bunting wins a catcher. Wow, they had catcher. They had Olsen at first. They had Ozzie at second. Ellie, Mookie. That's about standard names. And then you get Owen Casey. That's a fun name, even though he wasn't starting for them in the World Series, if I recall. And Jackson Churio, who, I will spoil this for you, is a beast every time in this game. So there's that. Rookies of the Year, as finally my AAA pitching coach accepted. Thanks, Andy. That does, by the way, this is a nothing player, basically, we've just discovered. Thank you. Our coaching staff has been completely facelifted. Everyone here has been brought in new. A lot of unproven reputations, but they're here. Everyone's here for 5 years, who I've just brought in. We have new first base coach, which means I can now give someone to do that better. As we can learn the rookies of the year, you got Orelvis. It'd be nice if they called this man up in real life because the Jays are dog shit. And Jet Williams, who's very fast and a really good-looking hitter. Wow, he's going to get on base a lot and steal a lot of bases. This is going to be a very good player for them in this save, huh? Coolio, as Edwin Arroyo comes in second. That's pretty fun. Part of that Luis Castillo trade, right, with Noelvi? Maybe. Managers of the year, as we see Cooper Pratt and Donnie Watson for... Oh, no. Anyways, I fucked that up, but nothing major trade-wise there. Rocco Baldelli is AL Manager of the Year, and Craig Counsell wins in the NL. As, Walker Buehler signed a 4-year. I thought it was going to be 2 by 30. It is 4 by 15.8. It's pretty good value for him, to be honest. Tomorrow we find out our Cy Young Award winners. And it's Jacob deGrom in the AL, so he's won NL, AL. That's pretty fun. At 37, no less. Wow, what a year. Led in ERA, Ks, whip. Pretty great year from him. He would have won the Triple Crown if it weren't for fucking Nick Nastrini leading the league in wins. Hell yeah. NL is Michael King. Did they win the Soto deal? No All-Star appearances. That's a funny hardware shelf. Just one Cy Young winner. And they've got him on a pretty team-friendly contract there for what he's delivered to them. 2.6 ERA, 1 whip, led the league in hits per 9. BABIP wasn't even that low. Yamamoto picks up 3 first places, and Yuri picks up 1. I forgot to mention, but Gosman picked up, I think, 13 or 14 first place votes in the AL. Now we have the fun one. Is Louis Bob your AL MVP? Yes, he is. That's a lot of fun. As the Cardinals want to trade us Pedro Pajes. He was on waivers. I could have had him for free. And Graham Pauley and Ryan Walker and Marco Luciano are involved in a trade as well. You fucking unanimous for Louis Bob as AL MVP. That is awesome to see. Good for him. As Soto comes in second, so that's a pretty good 1-2 combo. And in the NL, it is Marcus Lynn Betts picking up his 3rd MVP in this because he won it last year as well. It's back-to-back MVPs for MLB Marcus Lynn Betts. Good for him, as you see Acuna, Ellie, PCA all pick up first place votes as well. And with that, I will see you guys at free agency filings. Here at free agency filings, a couple interesting things to note here. Well, first of all, apparently the year's top free agents are all pitchers, which is great news for us. I'm hoping there's a big one we can go after, maybe make a splash again, a la Juan Soto. International free agents, people who are entering the market from, in theory, like the NPB or whatever, other leagues. A couple interesting names here for the first time. Himet Chirullo, that's how I'm going to go with pronouncing that. No idea if that's right or not. Probably not. He's from I can't say that word. I'm going to get canceled. Vereniging. Anyways, he looks pretty okay, except the fact that he's fragile. But look at the personality traits. Ground baller with 60 home run against. He's looking for 3x6-ish. I think we can do that. But the real man I want to put your attention to is Sergio Herrera. Ooh, buddy. 4.5 star extreme ground ball, 26-year-old who's durable. Oh my God. He's almost perfect. Except he's got a poor track record in terms of loyalty and is lackadaisical. Funny how this word, lackadaisical, people, lackadaisical is what they say, even though they are wrong. They are dead wrong. Anyways, he's got high financial ambition, low leader loyalty, and work ethic. But he is looking for 9x20. There's a world where he is a White Sox next year. This would be a sick pitcher. I'm pretty sure he'll be ranked up here. He's ranked as right now the 15th pitcher in baseball, 15th best pitcher in baseball as of now without ever throwing a pitch. So that would be a pretty sick signing. But the real thing I want to bring attention to, which is interesting, Paul Skeens, who is out for 15 months with a torn rotator cuff, and that comes off the heels of being out for 7 months with a torn rotator cuff. He suffered a setback which requires surgery, and he's going to miss another 15. That is 22 months off for poor Paul Skeens. Going to be doing a lot of sitting around and looking into Livy Dunn's beautiful blue eyes. Poor guy. So as I mentioned last offseason, I like to set up the roster, kind of like play it out what we have. I sent down a bunch of guys I don't think are going to make opening day. Obviously, I'll call them back up for spring training, but just I like to take a look at what we might have for the regular season. Wes Clark is kind of that man out right now. I don't know. I want him to hit versus lefties. As you can see, he OPS 846 versus lefties, so that's like a 4 or 5 hitter to me. But if you look from the home screen, if we could get another bopper, a cleanup man, it could be a DH because Soto can play left. If Soto was our DH and we found a good left fielder, that would do the same job. But if we can get one more bopper, that would lengthen this lineup so much. And I think we have 3 guys who we can trust and we think are good hitters, great hitters if not. 1 Terang who's good or pretty good. 2 that are lesser good. Pache's obviously better than Arteaga and his fucking 61 OPS plus. But again, he plays plus defense at short, and I value that pretty heavily. In a perfect world, he probably bats 9th. But I've extended offers to a couple free agents I will explain in a second here. One big offer, one, catcher. You can see right here, Jose Trevino. I would love to get him 2 years at a backup catching role, or not a starting catching role, sorry. 75 framing, captain, 70 blocking. He would be an unreal catcher to have. 47 OPS plus is not great. I'm hoping he can get that BABIP up a little bit. But again, even if he doesn't hit for shit, you can frame 10 runs on my team any day of the week. With, hopefully, Sergio Herrera pitching to him. I offered him 9 by 190, but it's structured that after the 6th year, it's a player option, and then years 8 and 9 are team options. Hopefully he accepts that. We're getting a scouting report done on him, but I feel like this would be another co-ace with Kirby. That would be pretty fucking substantial for us. This free agent class is crazy. There's no good hitters. I mean, these guys are fine players, right? But if you look at the pitching free agency class, look at how many good names there are, 3.5 and higher stars. I would love to get Max Fried as well. This is a great pitcher in this game. He just put up a 2.9 FIP and a 2.8 ERA. Last year he was great too. The year before that, in real life, was great too, although he was injured for part of it. A lot of good pitchers here. If we can't get Herrera, I'm going to pivot and go for somebody else probably. I'd like to get someone here. I would like Savali. Oh, no, Eflin. Sorry. Thinking of the Rays guys. Eflin, a ground baller with high control. Very similar to the Kirby build. Less good because, it doesn't have the home run against rate and not as good stuff. But would be a lovely 2 or 3 in a good rotation. He's also 31, though, and he's looking for a 5-year deal at about 20 per. We could pony up and do that. I wouldn't hate it. If you look here at our front office, this is including the offers we have extended. So that's about 22, we'll call it. I've already, in theory, spent. That's how it counts it. Otherwise, you can't really go over it unless you're in commissioner mode, which I'm not. So we still have another $8 million if we want to. The fucking Benintendi contract being on the book still is really frustrating, but nothing we can do about that. And I've pretty much got it down to the fact that besides Benintendi, we're paying people we want to pay. The only other expendable piece we have to me is Julian Merriweather if we really need to clean $3 million. So we just have so much pitching, which is a good problem to have, right? Look at our rotation. You got Kirby, Nastrini. Those are the 2 locks. I want to start DL Hall in the rotation this year, I think. He looks good enough. Kyle Hurt, remember we traded for him as a reliever for Brandon Marsh, who was another guy. I'm not paying $7 million for Brandon Marsh. But he profiles pretty well as a starter. Another extreme ground ball power pitcher. I like that. That's pretty much what Kirby is, right? Oh, no, he's a normal power pitcher. But still. I like Hurt. Frasso, the waiver claim. I don't know he's a long-term option at all. I don't even know he's a short-term option. But as a 5, I think this could do well. But that said, we still also have Javier Assad, who, again, threw a complete game shutout in the playoffs for us. Davis Martin, who had a 4 ERA last year for us. And JP France, who had a 4 ERA last year for us. 3.86, actually. So we've got great pitching depth and a good-looking bullpen thus far. But we'll see where we go with that. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Hell yeah. Sergio Herrera is here for $190 million over 9 years. I'm real excited for him. I'm hoping this scouting accuracy, proves he is what we thought he is. This is a potentially ace caliber pitcher for us for the next decade, basically. He is 26. I don't love his personality traits. I'm hoping those can change. It's possible, but it's very rare. It's random. Looks good versus both sides. Here's the contract structure. It is $20 million for 6 years. A player opt-out, 20, and then 2 $25 million team options with $5 million buyouts. And they gave him a little bonus for being a Cy Young Award winner. It's a pretty good-looking contract to me. Yeah, I'm extending a bunch of guys longer term, but it's also our core. If it goes south, we're going to have to blow it up and rebuild, but I'm hoping it doesn't, obviously. Besides this, there's a couple other pretty massive trades that have gone down and a massive signing, which we'll start with. Max Fried goes to Houston for 5 years at about 28 per, with a player opt-out after the first year. Very interesting. They usually take that if they have a good year, so I wouldn't be shocked to see Fried in free agency next year. Besides that, let's go over some trades. Sonny Gray goes to the Angels. He looks pretty good. This is a funny one. Kodai Senga goes to the Diamondbacks for Drew Jones, who, in this game is not a very good hitter, but man, can he play some center field defense, as well as a couple other prospects. This guy also pretty good looking guy. You got Kenley Jansen going to the Twins, who just won the World Series, of course. They're beefing up their bullpen even more for, I don't know if this is maybe Jackson Churrio's brother. I don't know. A Churrio. We have Chase Davis, a 1-for-1 for Jose Siri, who looks pretty fucking good in this game. Just put up 4 WAR with league average hitting. Playing unreal defense out there in center field, and he can hit for enough power that, he's not a bad bat. You got Alex DeJesus, among others, going to Houston for Brian Abreu to Toronto. That's a pretty good acquisition for the Blue Jays. Salvador Perez extended his stay in Chicago on the north side for 3/19. You see Rhys Hoskins going to Baltimore for a couple prospects. We see the Astros continue to sell off by sending Chas McCormick to the Guardians for Scott Barlow, Tyler Soderstrom, and Alex Mooney. Here's a crazy one. The Brewers just gave the Cubs Freddie Peralta. No comment. That's pretty sacrilegious. We see St. Louis trade Dylan Carlson to the Mets. So they're buying and selling. Sure. And here's an underrated pitcher in this game is James Karinchak. He's so fun in real life. For Werner Blakely, or I don't know, I guess it's Werner. He looks pretty good. 85 stuff. It's 85 versus lefties and 80 versus righties. So that's pretty something. Anyways, yeah, that's the recap. Big acquisition with Herrera there. Super excited about that. He's going to start the second game of the year for us. And yeah, I mean, that's a pretty great 1-2 punch at the top of our rotation there. I'm hoping we can improve on this 93-win year next year. Coming back to show another trade here, Jackson Ferris for Frankie Montas going to the Cubs. They're beefing up their rotation. And you can see Juan Soto had successful training to improve his left field defense in general. Our scout, John Mozeliak, saw him improve all aspects of defense from range to arm. This is his new ratings. These seem to be updated as well. You can see his left field has gone up from, I think we got him at 45. Now it's 55 defense. So he is officially passable out there in left, and I don't necessarily see him as a DH anymore. He's obviously not going to be a plus defender, but as long as he's not a, super negative out there, that's a W in our books. I think Jackson Ferris is our campus slut because he's being passed around like a dirty whore. I mean, for the number 74 ranked prospect, he's been traded in this save 4 times already. He was a part of that Luis Arias trade to the Dodgers. Then this offseason, he's been traded 3 times in like a few months. First from the Marlins to the Cubs, then from the Cubs to the Cardinals for that Montas trade, then 2 days later from the Cardinals to the Guardians for Tanner Bybee. Anyways, that's the thing here, is that Bybee to the Cardinals. But yeah, wow, funny for Jackson Ferris. Maybe he'll stick there for more than a week. Edmund Diaz extended for 15/2 with the Mets. I also forgot to mention, this is another international free agent who was pretty good. The Cubs just gave him a 75/4. Masakatsu Tanaka. He looks like a pretty good third baseman. I mean, I didn't really need him. We need a third baseman, but I was not paying a 32-year-old, 4-year deal because he's under contract for 6 years, right? Like, this is in theory a 6-year deal if they don't accept the team option, because he's going to go to ARB. And of course, the Japanese media, they love that. They love that a lot. I don't blame them. That's their guy. This is my Hall of Fame ballot for the 2025 offseason. You can see the list of names is much shorter than last year. I've only voted for 8. The rest of the guys I do not believe should be Hall of Famers. Even some of these guys you might disagree, including Edwin Encarnacion, but fuck it, that's a Hall of Famer. We're gonna submit that ballot. We'll see shortly what comes of it. And there's another interesting-ish trade. Nick Pivetta goes from the Padres to the Guardians in exchange for Stephen Kwan. That's a pretty interesting trade. Seems kind of realistic. I could see AJ Preller doing this. So, yeah. We are at the date of the Rule 5 draft. Of note, Jose Trevino hopefully signs with us shortly. The draft lottery happened. The Rays did not get the first overall pick again. That will be the Giants, with the following teams picking after them. Eduardo Rodriguez, good old E-Rod, goes to the Reds. Fairly expensive deal, I want to say. Yeah, for almost 80. You see here O'Neal Cruz to the Angels. That's interesting. He did not develop that fantastically in this game. You can see his ratings have they've fallen off pretty heavy. He's also hilariously an 80 grade first baseman because he's 6'7". That's something. Giovanni Moran goes back to Minnesota after signing with the Dodgers last offseason for Jose Miranda, among other little players. And Nathan Eovaldi, pretty team-friendly deal in Baltimore, 3 by 6.8 for a 3.5-star starter. I would do that if I were them too. Anyways, it's Rule 5 draft time. I will let you know who we take, if anybody. Well, this is pretty funny. We lost 6 players in the Rule 5 draft before we even got to our pick. Now, most of these were just little minor league free agents I handed out. Austin Slater to the Rays. He was the first overall pick in the Rule 5 draft. You can have him. Cal Quantrill to the Nationals. You can have him. Martin Perez to the Rockies. You can have him. I don't really understand this, but yeah, this is a fairly sizable loss, I guess. I mean, I signed him with the prospect of him making at least spring training, Isaiah Campbell, that is. I feel like he looked decent. That's a fine pick for the Giants. Andre Palante was taken by the Tigers. Why? I couldn't tell you. A 1.5-star pitcher. Be my guest. But the bigger one, I guess, is Luis Heel. He was just dreadful last year. Wasn't on our 40-man. You know, I mean, this could be a loss that comes back to bite us, but I'm happy for the A's. You know, hopefully they can get some use out of him that we could not. I haven't even taken a look at the pool. Like, I've went through our players and made sure anyone I cared for was on our 40-man, and you can see here we have a full 40-man. But yeah, 6 players taken. Look how many players have gone in the Rule 5 draft, and they're all like older veterans, basically. Very, very peculiar. I've never seen anything like this, but out of the park, well, out of the park sometimes, I guess. We're going to make one selection in the Rule 5 draft this year, I believe. It's going to be Max Muncy from the Reds, who was just traded there for TJ Friedl. I don't know why they're not protecting him. You know, he looks like he could be pretty good. Also a ranked top prospect, so yeah, we'll stockpile those, please. He looks to be not much of a fielder either, but serviceable potentially at third. Not enough arm. I don't know. We'll figure out what we do with him, but he's a good enough name prospect-wise that, you know, I want him in my system as, wow, Caleb Killian is now drafted from us. Jeez. I'm pretty sure we just waived and DFA'd him as well. Yeah, we did, and he was taken immediately. Is he not on waivers still then? Nope. All right, well, that's a 7th guy that was just taken from us. I'm going to do my due diligence to see if there's any, like, I'll show you what I do here, actually. Fielding ratings, catcher blocking. Let's see if there's any, like, super good defensive catchers that I want. Nah. Infield range, 70 isn't terrible. This guy looks like he could be a pretty good defender, but not enough of a hitter for me that I want to put him on my 40-man for the year. Infield error I like a lot, but I'm not doing any of that. Outfield range, really not much of anything here. I'm looking for 70 or higher. I mean, this guy looks like a fine defender, but we have a plethora of, quad A 4th outfielder types. So that's going to be it for us in the Rule 5 draft. It is trade season, everybody. We appreciate the Rockies' service for giving us Tyron Lorenzo on waivers. We're going to flip him, along with Michael Massey, JP France, Alexander Mateo. Yep, I don't know why, but sure. Yarlin Susana and Ryan Burroughs. 4. Ke'Bryan Hayes at 40% retention for the next 5 years. And Addison Barger. That's our new third baseman. He's not much of a hitter. We're still looking for a big bopper. But I feel like Barger could be a backup infielder, along with Max Muncy potentially. And Ke'Bryan Hayes is going to start for us at third and provide, unreal defense. Again, he hasn't hit much in this save at all. 80 and 75 OPS pluses respectfully. BABIP has been low, even though he's got 50, which isn't terrible. But that's just yet another elite bat for our lineup, which is pretty exciting. Sorry, elite glove, not elite bat. Elite glove. There's also a world where Barger gets some reps somewhere on this team. He looks like a fairly good hitter, especially versus righties. I feel like he could be a part of a platoon, maybe even at DH with Wes Clark. Brock Wilkin probably hits versus lefties a little bit in some capacity. We will figure all of that stuff out by next year. Jose Trevino has signed on with us. He gets a 2 by 1.75 to be a starting catcher, even though his expectation is only to be a bench player. There's a world where he becomes, a play every third, fourth day backup catcher with a defensive sub. But I'm happy with the signing in any capacity. The captain and the defensive ratings, it's all I need from a catcher. As well, you can see the players appreciate his leadership. Nolan Jones goes to the Dodgers. That's a fairly interesting trade to me. I feel like in interdivision trade. I don't know where he's going to play for them. I guess third base leadoff, sure. They got a pretty good package back to the Rockies in Dylan O'Ray, who to me looks like a fairly decent leadoff guy. He's going to get on base a lot for you. Dong Hee Kwak looks bad. But it's Jonathan Santucci, I feel, could be a decent-looking pitcher. Like, if the control can fill out to even 40 and these ratings can come here, he looks pretty good for them. But yeah, as of now, this is how the team looks. I think what I'll do in spring training is play Barger in right field or left field. As you can see, he has decent outfield ratings. So that in a situation where Soto either is playing poorly out there in left or gets injured, and I don't want to just play Michael Ciani because I'd rather have this bat in the lineup, hopefully he can develop as a left fielder, and I'm going to take away the shortstop range because I do not really want this player playing short. And yeah, Carter Jensen's going to fill out as our backup catcher. He looks like a decent enough hitter. The eye versus righties. He'll probably get some ABs as a DH versus righties in a situation where Barger might play third for a day or something like that. But overall, I'm pretty happy with where the team stands. You can see on Meet the Team, which kind of gives you a top 32 rank of each position. Very polarizing team. They don't like our catching. They don't like our shortstop. Neither do I, to be honest. They don't like Pache, which I disagree with. But they love Coulson. They love Terang. They love Soto. They love Louis Bob. And they're okay with Key Bryan. That's kind of the way I look at it, too. The game does a pretty good job at that. Besides that, off-season's moving on swimmingly. You can look at our development lab. You have only one player on excelling for now, which is Andrew Nardi's velocity. Hopefully that goes well. Besides that, a bunch of guys who are on track. Again, the one we're really hoping that can fill out better is Colson Montgomery's BABIP, or his quality of contact, as the game puts it. And if Kirby can improve his secondary pitches, that would be lovely. Obviously, Nick Nastrini struggling on his secondary pitch improvement is not ideal, but 8 to 9 weeks, it's all subject to change. It is January 15th, which means it is International Free Agent Signing period, which I will do in a second. But first, you can see here we've got a lot of deals and trades to go over. We'll go from the bottom up. Yeah, Chris Sale, the Condor, going to Colorado for 3 years. He's still a pretty good player. So I weed down the things I want to show you. There's a million trades every day. Not a million. There's like probably 3 to 4 moves a day. But I'm not showing you the minor league for minor league trade or like the nothing signings. So yeah, but this is how many impactful deals there are. You can tell. So Sale to the Rockies. Chris Paddock goes to Detroit for 4 years. I found this funny. Taylor Rogers is going back to San Francisco. He left last year and he missed it, so he's going back. Aaron Savali joins him in San Francisco. That's a pretty good deal. $88 million over 5 years, 15-ish, and then actually a little more than that. But yeah, we got Yandy Diaz leaving the Orioles, he was there for 1 year for. Remember, for Samuel Basayo, who we'll check in a second here. Yandy goes to Seattle for about just over 15.5 per. Let's see how Basayo is looking. He's the number 5 prospect in baseball. That power will fill out shortly, in theory. BABIP might hold him back, and his defense isn't great. Kind of looks like a DH to me. But this team was dreadful last year. They had the first overall pick in Ethan Holiday, and they're going to be picking second this year. So hopefully for them, they can figure their shit out. A couple crazy trades. I don't know. You can see one at the top there, which we'll get to. Nick Castellanos to Philly for Ronnie Mauricio. Interesting one. The Braves signed Zach Eflin. That's a pretty good signing. He's going to add to their rotation of Strider and Springs. And they also have Lucas Urseg in the rotation now, huh? And old man ground chuck 42-year-old Charlie Morton still at it with a 3-year deal. What a guy. You have Hunter Harvey going to the Angels. He looks pretty good in this game. That's why I'm highlighting it. From the Braves, Brandon Woodruff signs with Seattle for a pretty good chunk of change. About $25 a year for 5 years. Liam Hendricks hasn't pitched in 2 years. That's why I'm highlighting this. Finally cancer-free, and he's off Tommy John. He's going to the AL West to pitch for Texas. And here's the crazy trade. 1-for-1. Ketel Marte to the Dodgers. Tyler Glasnow to the Diamondbacks. That's a lot to think about. The Diamondbacks rotation now is pretty cracked. Bieber they signed last offseason. He was pretty great for them. They just got Glasnow. They traded for Kodai Senga this offseason. Brandon Pfaadt has filled out decently. And Ray Jameson looks pretty good. Looks like it could be a very good rotation, and they've got a pretty good hitting core. You can see here. Lawler is an absolute stud. Corbin Carroll is an absolute stud. And you can see they've got Perdomo, Walker, Moreno, Walker, Perdomo, and Blaze Alexander, and Trent Grisham to fill out the core around them. They also traded for Lane Thomas this offseason, or they signed him. So yeah, pretty good-looking team over there in Arizona. The international amateur free agent class, once again, it looks pretty bonkers. What I do is I extend all 5.23 I can. You can see some teams have more, some teams have less. That's based on the free agents signed. It's like remember the old draft pick compensation for free agents? It's stayed similar to that, but they've added international slot money that you can lose from that. So anyways, I will figure out who we're going to offer to, and I will come back to you once we've signed somebody. We have signed our guy from international free agency, but in other news, Ranger Suarez, like Brandon Woodruff, goes to the Mariners for a big chunk of change, just under $20 million for 6 years. We'll take a look at their rotation, which now, like real life, again, it looks really, really good. You got Woodruff, Luis Castillo, Ranger Suarez, Bryce Miller, and Cody Bolton. Bottom two kind of dragging it down a little bit, but that top three is pretty crazy. Who we've signed is Duilio Seriano, a starter out of Italy. He looks unreal. He will not fill out this well. They never, ever, ever do. But I liked the high work ethic. Obviously, the 90 stuff it would be ridiculous if he could fill that out. He's got the potential to have 4++ pitches, good movement, good control. If he even gets close to this, he'll be a superstar. So I would not have high expectations there. But that's a pretty good piece. He's probably going to be a top prospect come the start of the year. We have made it to preseason. Unfortunately, Jerry Reinsdorf did not give us any more money for the year. Sometimes when you get to preseason and you've had what they would consider good offseason, they'll bump up your budget. So I was hoping he would, but he did not. We have the 21st highest budget, but I've been pretty efficient with my payroll thus far, I believe, so we should be fine. The only other deal of note was Devin Williams going to the Cardinals, although it's a pretty big note that deal is. That's a pretty great reliever. Besides that, a couple interesting names on waivers in Hayden Birdsong and Mason Black, although I'm not going to be able to claim either of them, so not even worth a claim. 1 day forward here. Oh, there was a waiver claim I made, who I just sent down to our own minor league systems. Sure, why not? Tomorrow we will find out the Hall of Fame results, which should be fun, and Beltran gets in. Only Beltran, but he does get in. Look at Edwin with 22% in the first year. I'm so sure. So yeah, that's the update. We are making a trade here. It is very to the point. We're trading away Max Muncy, who we got on waivers, for Gabriel Arias from the Marlins, who they acquired for Christian Bethancourt in the first year. He is going to play infield depth / defensive sub / he can probably play anywhere in a pinch if we need him to. And he can hit versus lefties significantly better than he can versus righties, but with his defense, we'll probably use him as short in some capacity. We are here at the start of spring training. You'll notice the team looks, very different and weird right now. This is an AI-generated lineup I let the AI set the lineup order based on the construction with people playing it, out of position or secondary positions trying to gain experience at that position. Usually, in previous saves, I would just set them all to max because it's just a video game and I felt like it. But in this, I understand not doing that because it's kind of like a more serious-esque save, I guess. Anyways, so Arias is going to be playing second. Arteaga is going to play third. We just have to have Terang playing short. Barger is going to play left. Siani is going to play right. And then Wilkins playing first. Pitching-wise, I will make this a 6-man rotation just to take some stress off their arms and spring. And who are we going to put in there for our rotation to test them out is Nick Frasso. The other thing of note, because it's the first day of spring training, is our development lab, which, you can remember when this was a lot more green and a lot more excelling. Yeah, well, that's what happens over the offseason. It looks like we're not going to get shit from Colson. I'm not going to get shit from Terang. Might lose some stuff on a pitch from Nastrini, which would not be great. Kirby, not looking great. Crotch Rocket, not looking great. Bremner, not looking great. But we have a couple guys who might gain some rating points. We might get Pache's avoid Ks up there. Maybe just, grow that by 5. That would be nice. DL Hall, if he can get the home run rate up, that would be awesome. Sergio Herrera, this is still 5 to 6 weeks, but if he can improve a secondary pitch, I'm really excited to see what he can be for us. But I'm really excited here for hopefully Andrew Nardi can, bump that up to like 97 to 99. And that would probably give him 80 fastball stuff and better stuff for both sides. So let's find out. Ross Stripling is already out for the year with a torn flexor tendon. Brooks Raley signs in Boston. I do see a poor. That's not what you want to see. Okay, so no impact on Colson. Sorry about that for the mic. No impact on Terang. Oh, this did not go well. Nastrini did not have a good time. He struggled mightily. He was coming out of his mechanics and overthrowing the ball a lot, which have worn down his arm. So that is a problem. What that'll do is that'll make him fragile. It's not going to update right now, but I'll show you what it did actually. That changed these ratings, which are his injury proneness ratings. It probably raised them each by 15 or 20. I don't touch those, obviously, but that's what that'll have done, which is not good. It's not what you're looking for. No improvement from Kirby. No improvement from Bremner. Pache's 2-strike approach. You see he gained 5 potential there, which would be nice if he fills that out. Garrett Crochet actually ended up being successful in his command. He got back up to 45. So that's nice. DL Hall's movement. It doesn't actually seem to have changed, but again, what will happen is those individual ratings will have changed for the better. I'm excited to see Nardi here. Outstanding. He had made a significant jump in velocity. He is up to 97 to 99 and did get 80 fastball grade. That improved his home run rate, it looks like. See, this was 75-65. It's now 80-70 stuff. So that's all great news. Because I did this offseason correctly, we now have time to improve defenses for players. So Colson's going to do second base. Sorry, we already did Soto, I believe. We could do bunting drills or base running, but nah. These guys aren't really going to improve their defense. So we're going to go by age. Jensen, if he can improve at catcher, that would be lovely. Arteaga, I would like you to improve at short. Brock Wilkin would be nice to improve at first. Arias, if you can improve at short, that'd be great. Terang, if you can improve, that'd be unreal. Who else are we looking for? Maybe Wesley Clark. And then 2 more. And I like to do a couple of these as prospects if we have anybody we care about here. Claimed Henry Bolt on waivers. Why not? Maybe he could be better in center field. Tyler Bremner's potential went down over this offseason. That's a shame. But it is what it is. And the last one we're going to do is, why not? Let's do Soto for base running fundamentals. Anyways, that's all finished. 4 to 5 weeks, so that's going to be the day before opening day, which is the next time you'll see me. Hopefully we don't have many injuries. But yeah, we are here at opening day. Lineups are set. The bullpen is set. The rotation is set. And it's time to see what we had happen with our defensive improvements, as Jerry Reinsdorf wants us to play 500 ball. Methinks we're finna do that. Sergio Herrera. What did he improve? his splitter. Let's find out. Okay, Sergio. Oh, I'm excited for him, man. Wow. No improvement for Colson at first. He actually did fill out at first to finish 75 rated at first. But yeah, Arteaga had leaps and bounds better defense. Oh, he did. I'm a fan of that, Iverson. Nothing for Brock Wilken. Ooh, my lord, Gabriel Arias got more range. Oh, we got a couple good defensive infielders here. Terang improved at second. Oh, yeah. Nothing for Wes Clark, nothing for Henry Bolt, and nothing for Juanito. But that's fine. Top 100 prospects. Let's look at the top 10 in reverse order this time. As Roman Anthony checks in at number 10 for your Boston Red Sox. J.J. Weatherholt is number 9. He sounds like he could be a spy. Max Clark. So the fact that they took him over Wyatt Langford is still pretty funny. Yeah. Anyways, he's ranked 8th. Edgar Aguilar, the international free agent we wanted in the year 1 offseason. He's at 7. Samuel Basayo is still kicking now here at 6. He's been ranked top prospect the whole save. I wonder if he gets the call this year. He looks to be more of a first baseman than anything here, but I don't know. Ethan Salas is still only 19. He looks like he's going to be a goddamn star. 5th ranked. Dylan Cruz at 24. Ooh, OSA ratings are not high on him. My head scout still likes him, but I don't know. He might be a little overrated there. Walker Jenkins checks in at 3. He looks like he's going to be a fucking superstar. Who is Andre Luis Pabelo? International free agent signing for the Rockies. Could you imagine if this guy fills out and plays like this in Coors? The Filipino? Yeah, I'm sure, from MagDug. And number 1 is Braden Montgomery. He is Barry Bonds. This guy is going to be a monster. Oh my god. Of course, we passed on him in the fucking first year draft. Look at how much he developed. Wow. That's crazy. Good for the Tigers. Good for him. He looks like he's going to be a star. We will check out our own top 100 prospects and then the preseason predictions, and then I will let y'all go. Let's see, top prospects on the White Sox. We have 5 ranked in the top 100, the first being number 16th ranked Duilio Serrano. Yeah, I mean, he looks like he could be a monster. Brock Wilken, who we, of course, claimed on waivers. Tyler Bremner, who was our first-round pick last year. Samuel Zavala, who I believe is an international signing in like one of 21 or 22 in real life, maybe. Zach Grumman, who was our international free agent signing in the year 1 offseason. He still looks like he's going to be pretty okay. Still hasn't made it to even rookie ball yet, though. Carter Jensen here, who's made the Major League roster. And then you got Anthony Gutierrez as our 7th best. Preseason predictions-wise, they predict us to go 82-80 while scoring not a lot of runs and allowing not a lot of runs. You know, that is kind of the way I build my teams. If we win our low-scoring games, we're going to beat you 3-2 and not 9-8. That's a winning formula for baseball, though. Anyways, throughout spring, we had a couple injuries. Nick Frasso, what did he even do? He ruptured a tendon in his finger. He's out for 2 months. I can transfer him to the 60-day if we end up needing space on the 40-man, or on the 60-man, rather. Of course, because opening day is today, but we don't play until the 3rd of April. That gives us a week or so. So don't worry about Gabriel Arias having a bruised elbow. I would be worried about Barger being unknown, strained oblique, but I'm not going to IL him just to have him be on the IL not injured when we actually have our opening day. Yeah, we're going to face the Royals in the first game of the season next year. We can take a look at the player rankings to see who Out of the Park Baseball thinks the top 20 hitters and pitchers are going into this year. As Acuña's number 1, Jefferson Caro at number 2. He does look like a star catcher, I'll tell you that. Ellie's up there, Sean Murphy. Jackson Churio, yeah. Jackson Holiday, yeah. You got Jordan Walker, of course. Jordan Colson checking in at number 9. Yeah, and we have him under this crazy good contract, so I'm happy about that. We also have Juan Soto. Kyle Teal is number 11. He looks really good. PCA is a monster. Judge still kicking around here. Wyatt Langford at 14. Jackson Merrill, who they're playing in left, huh? He looks really good. Jordan Lawler. Ohtani, the right fielder, of course, because I wanted him to actually play. Mookie, Seager, Tucker. Pitching-wise, you got DeGrom at number 1 still, even at 37. 90 grade fastball, 90 grade slider. He is a beast. Gosman at 2. Yamamoto at 3. Sergio Herrera at 4. What? Oh, boy. I didn't think it was that good, but man, I'm excited about that. Wheeler 5, Strider 6, Snell 7, Nola 8, Freed 9, Scooble 10. I love Scooble in real life. Oh my god, I love me some Scooby snacks. Logan Webb, Brandon Woodruff, Justin Steele, Luis Castillo, Garrett Cole. I'm surprised we don't see... Oh, we do see George Kirby. Kyle Harrison, who's a monster in the save. Oh my god, he might win a Cy Young soon. Anyways, we have 2 of the top 20 pitchers and 2 of the top 20 hitters on this roster. You can see overall the ratings... from when I took this team over 2 years ago, looks a little better, I'll be honest. But we are nowhere close to being done with this team. And I will see you for the opening day and first half of the season, including the draft, next time. Done, no.